read one line from file, write is one record, and rewrite one record, delete one record. So what are similar commands for DB2?
Create, insert, update, delete.
Create. For read, is it create?
Select, select,
Select,
insert, update, delete.
select, insert, update, and delete. So instead of read, we are having a select command. Okay, just the query is different. Okay, just the query is different. Instead of read, we have a select command. And instead of write, we have insert command. And rewrite is going to be replaced with update. Delete is going to be replaced with same delete. Okay, so like how we are a vSample, we are going to use DB2 in program. And in fact, DB2 is much easier when compared to vSam. Okay, and we had a structure, the structure of the vSam file. Similarly, we have a structure for DB2 table, and file status we have similar file status as SQL code, and define the file and define the table, and these are the file manipulation commands: read, write, rewrite, and delete. And similarly, we have select, insert, update, and delete. Okay, any doubts on this? So here, this structure, okay, this structure here in vSam, how you wrote the structure? You wrote manually, right? So this structure we wrote manually. You saw the file and you saw starting position, length, and type, and we wrote manually. But here, structure is created by a tool, and it's called DCLgen. Similarly, table definition also is created by tool. So that's a tool which is going to generate this structure and table. You have to just copy the structure in the program. So it's going to be very easy. Okay, a tool is present called DCLgen that is going to define DB2 table as well as the structure that could be used in program. Okay, and see in DB2, what are the data types? Data types in DB2? Char, varchar,
Int, long int.
okay, int, small int, whatever, time, date, time, timestamp. So can COBOL understand this?
No, sir.
COBOL doesn't understand, right? So there is no int and small int for COBOL. If it is present, I would have told you earlier. So there is no date field. That's why we gave x of 10 or x of 8. We just gave alphanumeric or numeric. So there is no separate date field. There are no constraints or rules like how we have in DB2. So since there is no constraints, we just give x of 8 and 9 of 8 for files. So here, this defined DB2 table will have data types as int, small int, etc. So whatever we declared the table, whatever we declared during the creation of table. But this structure will be having the equivalent structure. You understand? Do you remember I told in the first class, two class before, probably on Friday morning, I told small int will be S9 of 4 comp. Probably I will show you the document. So let me open the document. And now I think you'll understand much better. Let me open this. So this we saw, on Friday morning. So this was I told you these are equivalent data types. A small int in DB2 is nothing but S9 of 4 COM, binary 2 bytes. Similarly, an integer is going to be 4 bytes. Decimal is going to be x minus y. Okay, this one should be x minus y, So if you give decimal 9, 2, it means S9 of 7, V9 of 2. Similar character will be, just X of. And date is going to be in format YY hyphen MM hyphen DD. So in COBOL, we don't have data type. We just have alphanumeric, and we give us X of 10 because this is 10 bytes. Similar time is in format HH colon MMS colon SS, and in COBOL it is declared as X of 8, and timestamp is going to have date time till milliseconds, microseconds, and that is we don't have similar data type in COBOL, so we give X of 26, and we need not remember this conversion. Okay, but anyway, it's easy. It's not tough. It just character is going to be X, decimal X comma Y is going to be S9 of X minus Y, V9 of Y, comp3. Integer S9 of 9 comp, small integer S9 of 4 comp. So these are the data types. Conversion. This conversion is being done by system automatically. So there's a tool called DCHL tool. That tool is going to take your table name as input and create a structure, two structures. One is a DB2 structure, which is actual structure of the table, and an equivalent COBOL structure. Okay, here I will just write equivalent COBOL structure. Because since COBOL doesn't understand the data types of DB2, we need to write an equivalent COBOL structure. And using this structure, we are going to write queries. So these are the queries we are going to write in procedure division, and using this structure, we are going to write the queries. Okay, probably if you want, you can take a screenshot, and let me explain again. We are going to use DB2 in COBOL program. So I'm just comparing the definition of VSAM and how you define the VSAM file in COBOL program with how are you going to define a DB2 table in COBOL program. So when you are going to use VSAM file in COBOL program, we defined in environment section under input output section, environment division input output section, using select statement, and in data division we gave file description. So here we are going to give the declare table. Okay, declare table. We are going to define a DB2 table. And similarly, since like how we had a working storage structure for VSAM file, similarly we are having a working storage structure for DB2 table. And like how we had file status, we are going to have SQL code. SQL code is 3-byte field. Okay, I'll come to SQL code later. So here, so these are three definitions. You are define and then define the SQL code, and you can start writing the queries. And if you compile the program, you can execute. It is going to work. And this is called embedded program. We are embedding the queries. You see, we are embedding the queries in the COBOL program. Okay, and then compiling and executing, and it's going to execute. See, in real-time production, even if you want to change a single value in any file or a table, we go for batch program. You understand? We don't do real-time. No one will be having access through spoofy or QMF in production. Even if you want to change a single byte also, it will be done through a program, and we will be having a program that will be reviewed by offshore people, and will be reviewed by on-site. Then finally on a release date, it will move to production. You understand? Even a single byte, there is no one will have production access because it's very, very risky. Okay, we never do real time. What is called interactive SQL. We never use interactive SQL in production to update any table. No one will have access. So assume IRCTC. Take IRCTC. So all the tables are in DB. It's in RDBMS. Okay. If someone write delete from train table, what is going to happen in production?
Everything will be deleted.
Everything table will be deleted, right?
Yes, sir.
So what will happen to entire India? It will stop. You understand?
The business will stop, sir.
Business will stop. No one can book tickets. one person delete from table name in a production database, no one can do anything. So that's very risky. That's the reason no one will have any access to production. Okay, that is the reason everything, any small change also, a single character change also will be done through a proper release with lot of approvals, lot of testing. So, see, we understood the difference. I mean, how we are going to use DB2 in COBOL. It's very easy, in fact. And we have a tool called DCLGen tool. That tool is going to generate the DB2 structure as well as equivalent COBOL structure. So DCLGen stands for declaration generator. Okay, I'll just show you DCLGen. It's very easy. Okay, I have to go to 15. Let me check the table. I think I have emp table, right? Emp underscore table. Okay. So db.sql. Okay. I want to create how to go for DCLGen. It's very
Two, sir.
to option 2. So what it says, generate SQL and source language declaration. So it's going to declare, it's going to create two structures. Okay, like how I said, this structure, define DB2 table structure and COBOL structure. And here it's called source language because DB2 can be used in any language, right? The source language can be COBOL or C, or it could be a Java also. It could be any other language like EasyTree, assembler also. So that's why they are given source language. So option 2. So what are we supposed to write here? Source table name, which is going to be used. You are going to use table in the program. So what is source table name? Is going to be the table name. Table. Table owner is me. Leave the table owner. Okay, data set name. So destination. So you always see the source and destination. So destination is going to be gamma01 dot db2 dot sqls. Actually, in fact, we should create a separate PDS, DCLGen PDS. Probably it will be there. Just hold on, because in this mainframe everything is already created. Okay, DCLGen or COBOL. Okay, I renamed to db2.dclgen. This was created by administrator. So this is a PDS, no members in data set. System is going to create a member in this automatically. So give within quotes. So give a proper member name. Since the employee table, I'll give employee. So first time when you are going to add, you are going to write add. Second time onwards, you are going to replace, right? Replace. First time it's going to be add. And here the default values, just leave it. But here to write, just pay attention to a couple of things. Column suffix you have to write yes. Column suffix should be yes. And field name prefix should be HV hyphen. So it is going to create a structure which will be having this prefix. So what is the prefix you used in working storage section? WS hyphen, right? WS stands for working storage. Sometimes in linkage section in some company they use LS hyphen. So LS stands for LS linkage section. So if you see a program in procedure division, if you see any variable, you will understand, okay, this variable comes from linkage. So it might be from another program. You need not go to the top and see where it is coming from. Similarly, from a variable WS hyphen, you can assume, okay, it is a working storage variable. Similarly, for DB2 variables, we give HV hyphen. So HV stands for host variable. Okay, host variable. Host means that's a host language. So COBOL is like a host language, and DB2 is like a guest. Like how Hari is a guest for our training, we are having COBOL as a host language. We are hosting, and he is coming as a guest. Similarly, COBOL is host language, and DB2 is a guest. And since we are writing using these variables in a host language, we write HV hyphen. HV stands for host variable. It's an important interview question also. I'll explain about that. What, are you very silent? Or have you dropped?
No, sir. I
Okay.
put laughing reaction also, sir.
So just make sure take a screenshot also for this,
Okay, sir.
because people
Yes,
take do mistake. So you have to write table name here. Just screenshot. One person can take screenshot. And so if you have any extra screenshots, you just ignore. Probably we'll have one person every day to take screenshot, because a lot of unnecessary documents we have to avoid. That's why I have plenty of documents in mainframe, because I worked very extensively as a consultant. I don't share everything. There's no use, and almost everything is in internet. But if you have everything, we'll never read. So just send what is required. So add here we write HV hyphen. HV stands for host variable. Like how we have WS hyphen, we give HV hyphen. When we see HV hyphen, we understand these are host variables. These are variables of COBOL equivalent variables of DB2. And here column suffix should be yes. Press enter. What it says, execution complete, member employee added. Okay, employee added, return code 0. Now what happened? Can you tell me what happened?
Employee member has been created.
A member has been created. What will be in that member?
Employee.
Employee.
Employee tables.
Employee table means what?
Structure, sir.
The structure, right?
Yes, sir.
How many structures will be having?
Two stuff.
Two structure. One structure is declaration of
DB2
table.
and one is COBOL.
One is called COBOL. And COBOL structure is called host variable structure. Let's go and see. So DB2. So I give everything like this. When you define something, so all DB2 will be, PDS will be coming. So we can see everything simultaneous. That's why I rename everything like this. Okay, I'll just. So this is the declaration DCLGen table structure. This is the PDS member name. Language is COBOL. HV is the prefix used. Column suffix, yes. These are options we gave. So just see, this is a declare table. Like how it's similar to create table. Okay, but it's a declaration. So declare table, same emp ID, characteristics, emp name, character quantity. It is going to declare the table for the program. And what are the COBOL equivalent variables? COBOL declaration. What it does, it adds a prefix DCL to the table name. And it replaces all underscore with hyphen. So underscore will be replaced with hyphen. And then it puts a prefix HV hyphen. Because we gave a prefix name, right? HV hyphen. And this prefix name is user defined. You can give any name. You can usually, but this is standard. HV hyphen. If you have many tables in the program, HV1 hyphen, HV2 hyphen, HV3 hyphen. So, but this is the most commonly used across all the projects. HV denotes host variable. Why it is called host variable? Because these are variables for host language. And that's why it's called host variable. And where it is used, we use these variables in SQL queries. We cannot use emp underscore ID in program. Emp underscore ID will be used. I'll tell you the query. Okay, I'll explain, then you will understand much better. But just see how host variables are created. All the fields in DB2 will have underscore, and these underscore are replaced with hyphen, and you'll be having HV hyphen. You see the equivalent, we gave character of 6, it has changed to x of 6. We gave character of 20, it has changed to x of 20. So this copybook is called copybook. This copybook you have to copy in the program. Copying is nothing, very simple. Okay, you have to just write include employee, it is going to include. Okay. So we are using DCLGen tool to generate the two structures which were required in the program. It's very easy. We are going to give table name and the output is going to be stored in member name. Now this is available. Okay, we are going to include. Now SQL code. SQL code is also in another copybook called SQL CA. Okay, it's SQL CA. SQL CA. So SQL CA stands for SQL Communication Area. So you have to define these three variables, right? You have to define the equivalent COBOL structure, you have to define the table structure. These will be in member. The member I have just shown. You have to just give include employee. Similarly, we have another member which is inbuilt in the system. Okay, it's a system variable SQL CA. So we can include SQL CA. So it's very easy. So we need not write a full structure. We need not write a define a file. Okay, we need not write FD statement. We need not calculate the starting position, length, and type. Instead, we just copy. You have to copy the DCLGen structure, and you have to copy SQL CA. You are just include SQL CA. It is going to copy the structure, and that structure will have SQL code. So once you have these two ready, you can write the queries. So you understand, for a DB2 program, I am going to remove this. So what are the things available for writing a COBOL DB2 program? You are going to write copybooks. So there are two copybooks. One is DCLGen copybook, which contains declare table structure and then host variable structure. And then second is going to be SQL CA copybook. It's a system variable. How will you copy this? Very simple. You have to write include employee. It is going to include the member in working storage section. Similarly, SQL CA, you have to write include SQL CA. SQL CA is a structure inbuilt in the system. So let me tell about SQL CA. Then you can write the queries in procedure division. These two are the definition for a program. So SQL CA stands for SQL Communication Area. So it has some set of fields. Okay, not in file status there is only one field, but here it has set of fields. There are many fields as a part of SQL CA, like SQL state, SQL ERRD. There are plenty of variables, but we don't use all the variables. We use only SQL code. Okay, SQL code is a number. Okay, SQL code is number S9 of 9 comp, and sometimes it will be varying also. Okay, S9 of 9 comp is system DB binary 4 bytes. So SQL CA copybook is called SQL Communication Area. What happens for every SQL query which system is executing, SQL CA will be filled. Okay, for every query like select, insert, update, delete, SQL CA will be filled. And in SQL CA, we have a field called SQL code, which has to be checked after every SQL code operation. You understand? Like how we are going to check for file status after every file operation, we are going to check SQL code after every SQL operation. Okay, and SQL code is part of this SQL CA copybook. It is 136 bytes in length. So it is going to be 136 bytes in length. And in this structure, there's a field called SQL code, and you have to check SQL code after every SQL query is executed. So based on the SQL code, you have to decide. You can decide whether it has worked perfectly or not. Okay, and from now on, you have to suppose to check SQL code for sure. You cannot take for granted. Similarly, for BSAM file also, you are supposed to check file status for sure. You cannot take for granted. Okay. because unless the file is open, you cannot read. So for in projects, checking file status code for a VSAM file and checking SQL code for database or any database is mandatory. Okay, you should do for sure. So any doubts on this DCLGen copybook? We just created this copybook, and SQL CA is also already inbuilt in the system. You're just going to copy this SQL CA. So now I'll come back to one more thing. We created a DCLGen member, include employee, right? How many table it is going to contain? How many table it is going to contain? It is going to have structure for how many tables?
Only one table.
Only one table. So how many table you can use in the exact limit? You can use as many tables you want. Okay, tables can be input. We can use for select, reading. It can use for updating. Can use for inserting data into the table also. Okay, tables can be input or output. So you can use as many tables as you want. So what you have to do, for every table you have to create a DCLGen structure. You understand? So for every table in the system, whichever you are going to use, you have to create a DCLGen structure. So if you are going to use one table in the program, there will be one DCLGen structure. If there are two tables in the program, you are going to have two structure in the program. So if you are going to use four tables in the program, how many DCLGen structure you want? You are going to copy four structures. You understand? For every table you have one DCLGen structure. If you are going to use 5 tables, there will be 5 DCLGen structure in the program. You understand? You are supposed to create one for every table. And as far as SQLCA is concerned, it's going to be only one SQLCA copybook you are going to copy. Even though you are going to use 4 tables or 5 tables, doesn't matter. You are going to use only one SQLCA copybook. Remember, for every table we are going to create one DCLGen copybook, and you can use as many tables as you want in program. If you are going to use 5 tables, you are going to have 5 DCLGen copybooks in program and only one SQLCA copybook. So we need 2 types of copybooks. One is SQLCA copybook and host variable copybook. And host variable copybook is also called as DCLGen copybook. There will be one DCLGen copybook for every table. So application program. So can anyone read? Hemant?
Application program containing SQL statement should have SQLCA copybook. SQLCA copybook is a collection of variables that are updated for every SQL statement.
Just hold on. So SQLCA is a copybook, is a collection of variables that are used for updated for every SQL statement. So, okay, system is going to fill the variables. It's a communication area between the program and DB2 database. And in this structure, there's an important field called SQL code, and it's a number, it's a numeric variable, and we are supposed to check SQL code after every SQL operation, SQL query. Just continue up to this SQL code. This copybook.
This copybook is of 136 bytes in length. Contains most important variables like SQL code, SQL ERRD.
Yep. Okay. SQL code.
SQL code contains the status code after every execution of SQL statement, whose picture class is S9 of 9, yeah. COMP3.
Okay. COMP3 means what? Anybody? COMP3 means what?
Packet
decimal. So if you write S9 of 9 COMP3, how many bytes system is going to occupy?
5 bytes.
So totally how many bytes?
5
bytes.
5 bytes.
It's going to be n plus 1 by 2. So 9 plus 1 by 2, 5 bytes. Okay, SQL ERRD is we never use, but it's an important interview question. I will tell you later. We never use for application programming. Okay. Go ahead, Bhavana. Host variable.
These are host variable. These are variables defined in host language to use in application program. Host variables are in only means of moving data from and to DB2 tables. We use DCLGen to
Tool to
produce pro- tool to produce host variable are the same as column of the tables. We need to code host variables with the SQL statement but should be preceded with colon.
okay, good. So these are variables defined in host language to use in application program. It's like how COBOL doesn't understand the language of DB2, like int, small int, etc., char, var, we need an equivalent host variable. COBOL understands only x and 9. Okay, x9, com3, etc. So what system is, we are going to have a tool called decision tool, which is going to generate table declaration as well as equivalent COBOL declaration. And these variables are called host variables because it is part of host language and DB2 is like a guest. And where it is really used, host variables are used inside the queries. Okay, host variables are used inside the queries for moving data to and from tables. So moving data to and from tables. So there are, what are the SQL operations we can do in procedure division? Only DML commands. Okay, DML commands. In select statement, are you going to get data to the program or are you going to send data from the program?
From the program, sir.
In select statement, you have to understand my question. In select statement is like what? Similar to what in BSAM file?
Outrek.
Read command, sir.
Read command. Why are you bringing outrek here? Select statement is like
Sort.
read. Okay,
In
read.
sort it will be like outrek, no, sir.
Yeah, that's right. Leave it. In select statement is going to bring data into the program or we are going to send data from the program to table?
From the table.
Into the program.
Into the program. Why from the program? We are already reading. Reading means what? It's already there. Yeah, I'm giving a notebook. I'm going to give a book. You are going to see the book and write in notebook, right? You are bringing into the notebook. Similarly, in select statement, we are bringing data from DB2 table into the program. Okay. What about insert and update? You are going to bring data into the program or you are going to send data from the program to the table?
Program to table, sir.
Program to table.
Program to table.
Insert means we are inserting something into the table. So data we are sending from program to table. So for both of these, if you are going to move data from table to program, or if you are going to send data from program to table, we are going to use host variables. Okay, host variables are only means of moving data from and to DB2 tables. It's very easy to use. It will be little confusing. Don't research on this. Once you start writing program, it's going to be very, very easy. Okay, we use decision tool to produce host variables. Host variables are used in SQL queries, but it has to be preceded with colon. We need to code host variables within the SQL statement, but should be preceded by colon. Okay, I'll just repeat these two copybooks. Very important. There's going to be only one SQL CA copybook in any DB2 program, but there'll be one DCLGen copybook for every table you are using in program. You're going to use 5 tables, 5 DCLGen. And SQL CA is a big structure inbuilt in the system. An important field is SQL code. We are supposed to check SQL code for sure after every SQL operation. And this SQL code is filled by system after executing every SQL operation. And host variables are similar, structure for DB2 table, DB2 variables. It is the variable which COBOL understands or host language understand. It is used inside the query for moving data to and from the tables. Now I tell something. Now, since it's an embedded SQL, we embed everything using two delimiters. One is exec SQL and end exec. Okay, all the SQL related statement should be coded or embedded in between exec SQL and end-exec. And remember, we have to write only in area B. Okay, and by default, all commands in procedure division or area B in These two are going to be given in working storage section. This should be in area B. If you give in area A also, it will not say you have to move to area B. It will compile, but it will fail while executing. That I have seen in many compilers. So since we are going to write embedded SQL, any command, a DB2 command should be embedded between two delimiters, exec space SQL, end hyphen exec. So I told you we have to copy SQLC, right? Using include command, include SQLC. Similarly, if you want to copy a DCLGen member, you have to write include the member name. So here I created an employee, right? So you have to write include space employee. These are only two definitions required in the program. Then you can write the query. It is going to work. Very, very easy. Okay, I'll just read this. All the SQL related statement should be coded and embedded in between exec SQL and exec. Both SQLC and host variable should be coded in between with include statement. Include means you're copying into the program. So once we write this, we can do the SQL operation in post division, SQL query in post division. Okay, and finally we will let me tell the queries. Query will be changing a little bit. Okay, query will be changing a little bit. Suppose I have a M table. Okay, I have M table. It has two fields, emp ID and emp name. Suppose I want some emp ID and emp name into the program. For example, let me open the table. Some more thing I will tell. After the break, immediately we'll start writing. I'll write 2-3 programs. Then you can start writing the. But initial setup is little different. Otherwise, it's going to be very easy. So let me open QMF. Okay, we have DXC 0, 26, 27, 28. Suppose I want to bring MS Dhoni into the program. What is the query? Select, I want MS Dhoni, emp ID, emp name from table where emp ID equal to, I want DXC 0, 26. This is the query, right?
Sir.
Select column names from table. See, we cannot give select star from table in program because that is, it will work, but it is not advisable, or we cannot use. We should not use. Anyway, still there are few more things to be learned before getting into programming. Select, if I want ID and name from this table for DXC 026, this is the query, right? If we execute, it brings MS Dhoni. So the same query we are going to execute in program. Same query in executing program. So as far as select is concerned, what it is being done, it is going to bring data into the program, or we are going to send data from the program to table. It's going to bring data into the program.
Data
into the program. So what you have to do, you have to just when you're writing into program, this query will be a little change. Same query. I'll just write here. Still I want. Okay. So this is the query. Okay, DB2 queries. So we have a table, M table, and it contains emp ID and emp name. What are the host variables? This is DB2 variables. What are the host variables for this?
Variables with hyphen.
HV, sir.
HV
HV
Hyphen MP table.
hyphen
MP
MP
hyphen ID. Okay. Similarly,
HV emp name.
HV hyphen emp hyphen name. Okay. These are the host variables. So in select query, are we bringing data into the program, or we are going to send data from the program?
Into the program.
Into the program. So
Into
query
the
is going to
program.
be, this is the actual query we wrote
into
in.
the program.
So this is going to be run in Spoofy. If you're writing into program, it's going to be, you have to write into what?
HV EMPAD.
Colon HV hyphen EMP hyphen ID, comma, colon HV hyphen EMP hyphen name. Remember, you write this into class. So remember, when you are giving host variable in a query, we have to give colon. Okay, when you are giving a host variable in a query, we are going to give colon. That's all, nothing else.
So underscore, sir.
See, this is the underscore will not come. This is a field name. This field name is always hyphen. It's a COBOL variable. Only DB2 variables will have underscore. So the query will be like this. Within exec SQL, end hyphen exec. This is how we embed. But the query we are writing in Spoofy is select emp ID m name from emp table, where emp ID equal dxe026. If you are going to write in a program, we have to use exec SQL end exec, and then the statement, since the statement is going to we are going to read a row from table into the program, so we are reading into host variables. So host variables are by only means we move data to the table and from the table to the program. You understand? When you are going to move data from the table, or we are going to bring data to the table, we are going to use host variables. So remember, host variables will have hyphen because it's a part of host language, and DB2 variables will have, the query never changes. Okay, whatever query you have written in Spoofy or QMF never changes. Instead, we have to use host variables. We have to use always host variables to move data to and from DB2 table. That's the only change. Suppose if you want to insert, I'll remove this exec SQL. Suppose if you want to insert, what's the command? Insert into emp table. Column name is going to be emp ID, comma, emp name. Values, say DXE029. Anybody? Okay, we'll write some
13
any name.
name. Shruti
Shruti Hasan. HA, I don't know. Shruti Hasan.
HASS sir.
HW. So someone is fond of Shruti Hasan here. So this is Spoofy query. How will you change in COBOL for embedded programming?
Right.
See, why write? How can you write command? Write command is a file command. Query will never change. Instead of values, we are going to use host variables. So instead of values, we are going to use host variables. And remember, there is no hard coding of values. So values what? Colon HV emp ID, comma, colon HV emp. Remember to fill this, because see, hard coding is never done in programming. You understand? Programming is to automate. So we cannot hard code a value. We cannot hard code a value like this. Program is to automate because the value will change every day. So you need to have a field. You have to pass the variable to the field. You understand? That's how programming is written. When I write a program, don't write for specific data. It's going to be all generic coding, and you can pass the values. Okay, now let's see this.
Sir,
Yeah,
sir, in procedure division we can't write insert, no sir.
who told? We can write.
Read, write, rewrite, delete.
That is for vsam file. Oh, you mean insert command we saw in a COBOL MCQ? Okay, yeah, insert is allowed because insert is a only means we can insert a row in a SQL table, and we can have embedded SQL. But insert separately we cannot write. Insert should be part of exec SQL and indexing. Probably they mean that, but anyway, it's not a proper question. Also, it's a confusing question. You cannot insert. Insert is not a command of COBOL. Okay, insert is a command of SQL.
Okay.
And there's a slight difference when you compile the program. What it does, it just keep this as separate. Because COBOL doesn't understand this language, it just ignore this, and something will compile that. So there are something which you have to learn. Okay, I'll teach you in forthcoming sessions. And the question in MCQ is insert cannot be used as a COBOL command. Insert is a part of SQL command. So we are going to use host variables in the program. Wherever we hard-coded values, instead of hard-coding values, we use host variables. And host variables are by only means you are going to talk with DB2 table. Okay, it's going to be communication. It's going to be interface between your program and DB2 table. It's a communication between program and table. So your query is going to change. We are not going to hard code any value. So insert into table name, column names, values, host variables. Instead of hard coded data, host variables. Select column names into host variables from table name where table name variable equal to host variable or a hard coded value. Remember, query will never change. Only the place where we gave hard coded values will be replaced with a host variable. There will be underscore for, we give underscore for table variable, we give hyphen for host variable. And one more thing I will tell, left hand side variables will always be DB2 variables, right hand side variables will always be host variables. Because definitely you will be creating mistakes today. You give underscore here, you will give hyphen here, so you'll be interchanging, you'll be doing a lot of mistakes. Remember, here ENO is a table variable. This is the host variable. This can be a host variable or a hard-coded value. Always left-hand side variables or DB2 variables, right-hand side is host variable, or the query will never change. Instead of hard-coded values, we are going to give host variables. So update table name, set column name equal to value. That's what we gave. We used to give in SPOOFY or QMF. Instead of that, update table name, set column name equal to host variable. Delete from table name where column name equal to host variable. Instead of value, we give host variable. So wherever we gave values manually, we change with host variable. So this is what have to be done in program. Very, very easy. Okay, I'll just repeat this and then we'll take a break. After the break, what I will do, I'll just write a program very quickly, couple of programs, and then execute and show you. So if you want to use a program in DB2 table in a program, you have to have SQLCA copybook. How you copy SQLCA copybook? Using include statement within exec SQL and end exec delimiters. And for every table you are going to use, there will be one DCLGen copybook which you are going to copy in the working storage section. And DCLGen copybook is going to have two structures. One is DB2 declare structure, declare table structure. Second is the host variable structure. And what is the use of host variables? It is by only means we are going to talk from program to tables. We are going to send data to the table from the program in insert and update command, and in a select command we are going to bring data from the table into the program, and for all these we use host variables. So these are delimiters. This is how we copy the table, and the query is going to be little changed since we are going to use embedded SQL All the SQL statements in COBOL should be embedded between exec SQL and exec, and no hard coding of values. Instead of hard coding values, give host variable. And host variable, how it is generated generally, it will have a prefix and the underscore will be replaced with hyphen. Okay. Host variable is a very important interview question. So when more than one row is brought to the program, it is going to fail with -811, and we cannot do this. So can you update? Suppose you are writing update command without var class. It is going to update the entire table. Suppose you are writing the update command in a COBOL embedded program and you are compiling and executing. Will it work or not? Just guess. Here in select, in many I'll just rub this also. Just guess. In embedded SQL, COBOL SQL, or COBOL DB2, mass select won't work. Because COBOL can't handle more than one row. One row coming into the program. Because we have only one set of host variables to store. So it gives a negative SQL -811. It's a very important interview question. What about update? Can we do? Will it work? See, what is embedded SQL? Whatever you wrote in Spoofy, you are going to just write in a program, compile and execute. That is embedded SQL. No difference. Instead of hard-coded values, we can give hard-coded values also. It is going to work, but we never give because we are going to automate. Only for automation we are writing a program. So instead of values, we give a host variable and we pass values to host variables from a file or from anywhere, any source. Will it work or not?
Updating all rows, sir?
All rows.
No, sir.
Mass.
Only one row.
So it can be updated.
Why?
Is COBOL handling only one row at a single time? That's it. We are getting exception.
You are saying it will not be updated.
Yes, sir.
I wrote the answer. Mass update will work, mass delete will work because mass update is happening outside the COBOL program. Okay, so it is going to work. Again, mass delete also will work. When you are bringing more data into the program, it doesn't know how to handle because there are many rows coming into the program. So program will fail with -811. But mass update will work and mass delete also will work. But it's never done in projects. It is never done in projects. Mass update, mass delete is never done in projects because it's very risky command. Okay, very risky command. It is going to update all the rows and all the tables. Suppose I want to give bonus to Hemant, I cannot write update table set salary equal to salary into 2. You have to give var employee ID equal to value. If you forget the var condition, it goes wrong. It is going to make all the salary as double. So instead, so mass update is never allowed in projects. Mass delete also is never allowed in projects. And mass select cannot be done in projects. Because COBOL doesn't know how to handle. If million records coming into the program, it will fail. For this, we have something called for multiple select, multiple update, multiple delete. We have something called what? Can you guess? Some people would have written. Here a concept called C. Starts with C. Some people usually write in college cursors. So we have a concept called cursor. Using cursor, we can do a mass select, mass update, mass delete. Even though mass update and mass delete will work, it is not allowed because it's very risky. We don't know what is ever it is going to update all the rows. Unless and otherwise you are going to update all the rows, you should not use update and delete. But anyway, in projects, no interactive SQL, everything is embedded SQL. In embedded SQL, it's going to be only one row at a time. Okay, and because even if it's mass update, we have to have log files also. What has updated and all these, what is the before image, after image, etc. So coming back to here, a DML, these are the 4 DML commands we are going to use in programming, you are going to use in projects. You don't have access to any commands in project. Apart from this, you can use in commit and rollback. These are the main commands: select, insert, update, delete. Select can do singleton select, or it's called singleton, or multiple select. Insert can insert only one row at a time. Update can update one row or multiple rows. Delete can update one row or multiple row. If it's one row, you have to use primary key. But see, in COBOL program, if mass select won't work because COBOL doesn't know how to handle more than one row at a time when it comes into the program. Because we have only one set of host variables. We don't have many arrays. Okay, we don't have arrays to store data. So it is going to fail. So, but if you write mass update and delete, compilation will be successful. Execution also be successful, but it is not allowed. Okay, these two are not allowed. Compilation will be successful, execution will be successful. Here, compilation will be successful, execution will fail. See, okay, you understand? Compilation will be successful on all these queries, but execution will fail for select. Execution will be successful for update and delete, but it is not allowed. So instead, we have a concept called cursors. Okay, now in few minutes, I'll be writing a program. Before that, I'll show you a slide also. So how many PDS we need for any COBOL, and what are the components we need? COBOL vSAN. How many PDS first? Jagavati Babu, how many PDS? Jagavati Babu, Bhavana, how many PDS? You gotta be very quick. Source. And load. Okay, load, load. In source, we're going to write program, and we have what we have? Compilation JCL.
Run JCL.
Run JCL. So in projects, everything will be separate. I will tell you how it will be in projects. Here, we are, for simplicity's sake, we are using this. So 2 PDS, source, Plotly. Okay, now tell me what could be the PDS here.
Source.
Anything else?
Compare.
Okay, load lib. Any other PDS? What?
Table.
Table means what? You tell? DCLJ. I created a DCLJ member, right? PDS member. And we need one more called DBRM lib. Okay, I'll tell you what is DBRM lib. So there are 4 PDS from all corners. Okay, let me see the PDS. So we have DCLgen, PDS, SQL. I think we have cobol.sourcelib. Okay, I'll create PDS for everything. So we have only 2 PDS. How many PDS are still yet to be created? See, I'll just tell some easy way, okay, for creating a PDS. What we have to do, we have to open a PDS which we want to have as a clone. Okay, just check the dataset information. How do you check dataset information? How do you check? No option. Just press blank, just press enter. It is going to say show data set information. Now, what happens when you allocate any for PDS? It is going to take the previous PDS characteristics. So, need not change anything. See, everything is present. Okay, previous PDS is not created properly. So, I'm giving 1, 1 because I'm not going to write many programs or at least 5. But when you create 25, 25, 25 because the source will be writing more programs. Sometimes program also will become more huge. Okay, it will be 300, 400 lines also. By end of next week, you'll be writing at least 400 lines of code with proper standards. There will be a lot of blank lines also. Don't worry about that. But still, it will be full of standards. So record format 80, FB 80, 800, PDS. And one more PDS called DBRM lib. And we have load lib. So load lib, again a 5, 5, 10 doesn't matter. Load lib will have a different record format, a different record length, and different block size. Can you read any exe file? Have you tried reading and interpreting exe file? Did you understand in modern technology?
No, sir.
No. So do you have any specific format, a fixed format? It's not a fixed format. We don't know the format at all. So it's called unformatted. Record length, we don't know. So if you don't know, it gives 0. 0 and block size, again we don't know. We give the maximum block size. Maximum block size is 32,760. So this is the parameters we give for load lib. And then here instead of PDS, it's going to be library. So if you want, you can take a screenshot also. Now you can take a screenshot because it has U0 32,760 and library. So this is what used in projects. Even if you give a different number here also it will work. But I'm using the standard used in projects. So we give U means unformatted, record length 0 because we don't know the record length, that's why I give 0. Block size also. Maximum, you cannot go beyond 32,760 and library. Load lib only load lib will be library. All the remaining will be PDS. Okay. While load lib will be library, all the remaining PDS. Press enter, create. Now how many PDS we have created now? You can just search db2. So SQLs will just leave. So DCLgen, the employee table, which will have declare and then HP. I'll just copy this probably in a notepad. Okay, it's already there in notepad, right? I will use this. And then DBRM lib is going to be used by system while compiling to store DBRM lib, store DBRM. So this DBRM will be stored. To store object model of SQL, it will be used. And we need compile JCL and run JCL. Compile JCL and run JCL are in job lib, gamma01.job lib. So compilation JCL and run JCL are going to be different. So this will be the compilation JCL. Earlier we copied copcomp and coprun, right? That is for plain COBOL program without database. Now copdbpc, copdbrun. Copy this to gamma01.db2.source. Copied equal to x. Now in source we have. So compilation JCL is ready, run JCL is ready, all PDS and library are ready. This is library, DCLgen is a PDS which has table name. Now we can start writing a program. Okay, I'll write a program, cob001. Actually, I'm not good in writing program from scratch, but still okay. So identification division. Let me copy some lines. The same program name, no issue. We don't have data addition also. It's a wrong program to be selected. Okay. Now I'm going to use employee table. So copy what? Copy.
Include.
How do you copy include?
Include.
Employee. Why do we give employee? Because
That is the JCL member.
that's a PDS member. So this is a PDS member. So this is a PDS member. Sometimes you want to copy paste also. End exec. Just repeat. Include anything else? SQL CA communication area. That's all. And that's all. Display program started successfully. Okay, I'm going to insert some row. Okay, exec SQL. I'll just copy paste the same query. See, you have to give SQL code. If evaluate, I'll write SQL code now itself. SQL code. Then 0. 0 means display record inserted successfully. Then when other record not inserted. So very easy. Is it very tough? Nothing. In fact, it's very easy than. One thing is it has 4 PDS, 3 PDS, 1 library. Okay, once DCLGen is ready, you have to. Okay, you can write like this, or instead of writing this, we have to use host variable, right? Okay, I forgot about host variables. So move DXC029 to what will be the host variable? Can you guys without
HV EMP ID.
colon HV.
See, outside colon will not come. Only inside SQL query colon will come. And this is going to be Shruti Hasan HVEMP name. So here colon will come HV EMP ID comma colon HV EMP name. I'll see the query. Okay. So this is what we changed, right? So no hard coding of data is going to be hereafter. Even if you hard code data, it will work. Okay, it will work here. But if you are going to, why are you writing a program to automate something? If you write, if you can't automate if you hard code data, you have to make sure pass data from some source. Okay, that's all. Program is done.
End evaluation.
Oh, end level. Okay. Include the copy book, decision copy book, populate the host variables if you're going to insert or update, or it's going to end evaluate. One by is very alert now. Some people are not sleeping, that's good. So inserted table, column names. So usually we write like this in project. Column names. Okay, something, anyway, whichever you want, you can write. So have some alignment so that everything looks easy to understand. We don't use this in project, but anyway, just for your understanding, I'm writing. Remember, the left-hand side variables are DB2 variables, right-hand side is going to be host variables. Or the query is the same, wherever you wrote data should be host variables. That's all. Very simple program. But you cannot use the plan name should be the plan name given here. Okay, we are going to give plan name while compiling. Program name is COP001, but plan name will be gamma01A. A to F you can use anything. So compiling, first you have to compile and then execute. In compiling there are 4 steps. It's not shown here, but you have to go to pass. Oh, there is no bind here. There are only 3 steps here, so you have to bind also. So bind is a separate JCL it seems. Just hold on. So we'll go to comma01.joblib. Anything is called bind present. So db2 bind. This also you have to copy. So this is a separate step. Gamma01 dot db2 dot source. Copied. Equal to x. Refresh. Okay, first you are going to compile this. So this is nothing but 3 steps, and this is the 4th step. See the first compiler PC, whatever is given here is the first 3 steps. Okay, the first 3 steps. This one, this one, this one. This is PC, COPDB PC, and the 4th step is COPDB bind, DB2 bind. So this is first you have to compile this, then you have to use this to bind. Bind is going to create the executable version of SQL, and then you have to execute the program using run.json. Now first let me compile this. And here debugging is going to be a little different. So here DCLgen is going to be db2.dclgen. dbrm lib is going to be db2.dbrm lib, because I give db2.loadlib and db2.sourcelib. Program name is COP001. Copylib don't disturb. So I change everything to db2.dclgen, dbrm libs, loadlib, sourcelib. These are the 4 PDS we created, and loadlib is library. Submit this. JCL error. Something is not present. It's not. I wrote as db.source. If you go to spool, for JCL error to come here. Okay, it says this session dataset not found. Actually, it's source only. So I'll explain that this member. It's a procedure. So it compiled because there is no error. Debugging is little difficult, different. Okay, little different in DB2. So tomorrow I'll explain how to debug. And today, while you are getting errors, I will explain. So after pre-compiler is done, now we are going to bind. in bind, okay, here it should be db2.dbrm lib, because dbrm is present in db2.dbrm lib, and that should be bound to the execution plan. So gamma 01 A, it's already given. Program name is cop001. Remaining just don't disturb. Owner should be gamma 01, qualifier gamma 01. Submit. Max easy 4. So we have to see why it is max easy 4. Okay. So this is a bind step. If you get max easy 4, come to bind sysprint and scroll down to the bottom. How to scroll to the bottom? You have to write maximum F8. You have to write M means maximum. Press F8, because if press F8 is going to scroll down a page. Or okay, now if you press F8, it goes to the bottom. And there's a command called bottom also. There's a command called top. Or M F7, M F8. If you come down, it should show bind for plan successful. Okay, if it's successful, you can ignore. You can ignore the return code 4. Otherwise, return code 4 is not acceptable in plan. Okay. So now plan is successful. Now execute the program. If we execute 2-3 programs, then you'll be used to it. Okay. Otherwise, it's going to be easy. Gamma 00, cop001A. See here, we don't write program name here because it's a database. It's a high level object. Okay. So this is a run JCL for executing any COBOL DB2 program. Don't write program name here. Program name should be system program, which is IKJEF T01. And you have to change here only. So run program name, plan name, library, load lib. So what's the load lib library? Load lib library is db2.loadlib. Save it. Submit. Plan name while compiling and while binding and plan name while executing should be exactly same. So it ran successfully. Now let me get into spool. First time it will be a little confusing, and once you start writing 2-3 programs, it will be very easy. So go to sysout and see the messages. Program started successfully. One display statement. Record inserted successfully. What has happened? Ravindra, what has happened?
Data insert successfully.
Okay, who has come to our class?
Shruti Hasan.
Happy? Data is inserted into the table. You understand? This is how you have to verify the data. So SQL, and don't assume COBOL status 0. 0 means it's not. I mean, you don't assume your program worked. Okay, now I'll write one more program to update. Okay, update, or I'll write update. I mean, one program for selecting. Selecting is the command is little different, right? Just listen one more here. Cop002 E copy cop001. Copy cop002. And I'm going to select. Okay. So these are not required. Select column names. Emp ID, emp name, into host variables. I'll write into here. There will not be any bracket, okay? There will not be any bracket. Select column names into host variable from M table where what? Emp id equal to colon hv emp id. Even we can hard code here also. DXC 029, it is correct, but we don't hard code. We always use host variables. HV, EMP, ID. So remember, it is while searching this table, while selecting, it is going to use this var condition, valuing the var condition. But once it is executed, it is going to use the same variable for storing data. Don't get confused. HV emp ID is given here as well as here. Okay, so initially we are going to move data DXC 029 to HV EMP ID. So host variables or working storage variables can be used anywhere in the program. When it is used outside the program, colon will not come. When it is used outside the query, colon will not come. When it is used inside the query, colon will come. So select column names into host variables from table name where column name equal to host variable. This host variable is fixed filled here. Okay, and so what we will do, we'll display the value. Record read successfully. Display ID is display name is okay, that's all. So I'll just show the program one more time. So we have copied the DCLGen copy book, copied SQL CA, and the SQL query is going to use host variable. Select column names into host variables from table name where column name equal to host variable. So this host variable should be populated before this select statement. We are populating DXC029. If it is present, it is going to show it is going to retrieve the data. How do you know data is retrieved? Based on the SQL code. When SQL code is 0, data is read successfully. If it is not read successfully, you are going to get other condition. There are a few more SQL codes you are supposed to check. I didn't introduce now. I'll be introducing tomorrow. Right now, this is enough. So when it is found, it is read. So when it is read, these two will be filled with data from table, and we are displaying in spool. So what we are doing in this program, just reading data from table and then displaying in spool. So let me compile this. COP 002 max is 0. After compiling, you have to bind. Sorry. If you want, you can use the same plan name, or if you want, you can use different plan name. There are six plan names. Gamma 01B. And you can reuse the plan name also if you want. Okay. If you are running out of options, you can reuse the plan name because we have only 6 plan names. If you write more than 6 programs, we need one more plan name. We can reuse. So Gamma 01B, max is 4. I'm assuming plan is created successfully, and let me check. Go to the bottom, bind for plan, successful. Gamma 01B successful. Now you have to execute. So in run.jcl, you have to write the proper program name, Gamma 002, and plan name. Okay. How do you check the output? You have to check the output in spool, because we are just displaying, writing reading from table and displaying in spool. So program started successfully, record read successfully, ID is 29, name is Shruti Hasan. So this is DB2 programming. not very difficult. Only thing is initial setup. Once you start writing 2-3 programs, you will be used to this setup. Okay, you'll be used to this setup. So how many PDIs are required? So I'll just 4. We need
4 PDs.
source, load lib, DBRM lib, and DCLgen. First step, what we have to do? We have to create DCLgen for every table. Okay, for every table we need a DCLgen, and then once the DCLgen is ready, you have to write the program. Write program. So once program is ready, you are going to what we are going to do? Pre-compile the program. And when pre-compilation is done, we are going to bind the program, bind the plan, bind the DBRM to create plan. Okay, bind to create plan. I'll write like this: bind to create plan. Pre-compile program to create load module. For COBOL DB2 program, we need 2 outputs. One is plan, next one is load module. Then you are going to execute the program. Run JCL. Run JCL is going to be little different. Don't give program name in PGM. You have to give program name in under the asset parameters. Okay, we are going to execute only system program IKJF T01. And then since you are going to deal with how to verify the results, verify results in SPOOFy or QMF. That's all. I have only one DCLgen. Anyway, I'll be recreating this. Option 15. Option 2. Give the table name here. M table. Go to destination. Give the PDS name within quotes. So except 3.4, everywhere you have to use quotes. gamma01.db2.dclgen. You have to give member name, employee. Give proper name. Okay, proper name. If it's customer table, customer. Then add or replace. It's already there, so I'm replacing. And field name prefix HV hyphen. You can give any prefix. It's user defined. You can give HV1, HV2, HS hyphen, whatever. But HV hyphen is the most commonly used in all the companies. It denotes host variables. Column suffix should be yes. Remaining you just touch it or need not worry about this yes, this no, and this no. Okay, this yes is risky. This yes denotes double byte character set. It's another way of storing data. We have mainframe in Chinese. We have mainframe in Chinese language. Okay, Chinese don't speak English in olden days, at least 20 years back, at least 15 years back. We had a Chinese mainframe. They used double byte character set to store data. So don't touch this, otherwise Corona will attack you. Just for kidding. Anyway, so don't worry about these yes no. If you write yes no, yes or no, it is going to ignore. Important thing is the source table, the destination PDS member, add or replace HV hyphen suffix as yes. Okay, if you don't give yes here and if you don't give HV hyphen, it will not create properly. But once you create properly, see now it has replaced. Remember, employee replaced because it was already there. I am replacing it. Now you go and check whether it is created properly. DB2, go to DCLgen. See whether it is created properly. Scroll down fully. It should have HV hyphen and then suffix. Sometimes if you don't give proper variable, it will be HV hyphen 1, HV hyphen 2, HV hyphen 3. Sometimes HV hyphen might be missing if you don't give HV hyphen. So come and see here whether field names are proper. And these are the names you are going to use in the query using colon. Outside the query without colon.